Step-by-step guide building your own X-Wing with an R2-D2 on top, and especially the lasers coming exactly from the side, the rockets, functional with some cargo, also crafting spots and everything. Not just going to be pulling the parts apart. No, I will essentially show you the whole building process, the difficulties and challenges, and maybe you'll find some sleeker solutions on the way for what I did. The starship yard I'm using for that is my very own outpost, because if you build on your outpost a ship landing place, you almost have all the parts there except some of the rare cockpits that you can only find exactly where Stroud Eklund is or Nova Galactic. Where do we start? With the nose of the X-Wing, and then we just pull it out to the end. For that, we're going for structural, and I feel like I found the perfect thing with the Nova cowling. So we're taking this one, and then we duplicate it to flip it on the bottom, and put it one lower with F. That will give us the perfect X-Wing nose already. But now we gotta like pull this all out towards the cockpit. As we're going for Nova parts, we might actually continue just straight up with the Nova parts, and that's the 2L cowlings. Yes, there are no structural components, so this is going to be a very sleek, fast fighter. Duplicate the whole thing with control, flip it, and put it on the bottom. Now I think we could do one more and then slightly go up. Duplicate, duplicate. That's starting to look very nice. I mean, we wanted to slightly curve upwards now towards the cockpit. Now for the cockpit, with the perfect one that also fits 2 people, that would be the Magellan C1X cockpit that we could then align right here. I would just have to find a connection that doesn't make it look ugly. So we're going to put in a Hope Tech workshop. No worries, we'll color this appropriately later. I'll take this and adapt it. We could pull this one for up front, depending on how long we want the nose to be. On the bottom, we're going to be adding another hab unit. That could be the captain's quarter, for example. I know the X-Wing doesn't have a captain's quarter, but I guess it should be fine. Now we get a triple stack sandwich, and that will be needed to actually put the wings on, because we're going to have a middle part, then an upper part, and then a lower part. The middle part is going to be able to sprout the wings, and the upper and the lower part is for the engines. Now we need somewhere where R2-D2 can sit, and also where we can actually access our cockpit. We're going to take the Hope Tech Companionway 1x1. And then also up here is going to be what every ship needs, the docker. Alternatively, you could also put the docker on top and just have it straight there if you prefer this design. We continue with our Hope Tech technology here. Put the upper part on, and then left and right, we could put the biggest white dwarf engine for maximum thrust, speed, copy it, and put it on the other side as well. Now, the best part is in the middle here, we can actually hide our reactor. And that's going to be the 134mm Toroidal, which has 20 power. That's fantastic. And can be straight up right here in the middle, hidden away. Now, we still do need also a landing bay at the back. And I think here we're going with the ship bed landing bay straight at the back. So you can actually walk right into your X-Wing. Then left and right of that, we could actually, with F, go down, put the engine 1. And F, go down, put the engine 2. Ta-da! And here on the sides, it would allow us to now pull out to add the whole wings. Now to be able to add the wings, we're going to pull out a companionway to the left and the right from the HAPS units. And we're still going to go with a Hope Tech one that we're going to copy and pull over. Then we pull it out on the right and on the left with engine bracers, because they give us the very thin X-Wing kind of feeling wing look. Now, yes, I would like to split the wings into 2, but that would make the whole thing really beefy. So I'd rather make a split at the end to go for the 4 prongs. Now for that, the best part I could find is the tail mid cap. You could also put it top down up front, so however you feel like it actually looks better. You want to point it downwards, or if you want to point it upwards, like this gives a better look. Now we need the iconic 4 prongs that the X-Wing has there, and for that we could do tail spine on the top and also tail spine on the bottom. Duplicate that. Other side as well. Now, I think we want to pull it out a little bit, so we're just gonna duplicate what's on the bottom and on the front to get it a little bit forward. And yes, it should be like a thin prong kind of thing, but I don't have anything super thin. And to make it pointy, we're gonna put a Nova cowling wing on it on the top, and on the bottom, that's actually gonna have a multi-use. Get ready for that. Okay, we adapt this, pull it over, flip it, flip it, flip it. Because now we can actually adapt weapons on the wings to have these X-wing lasers coming out of there. So those are going to be our 50 milliwatt IR pulse lasers on here and on the side as well. You can actually shoot out of there. I think we could probably put even more lasers on it, because I guess that's what we do. And then we got to find a rocket port somewhere as well. So far, very sleek, but we're missing some cargo, missing fuel tanks. So we don't have a grav drive yet. For the grav drive, surprisingly, we could actually delete this HAP unit and put the alpha grav drive with a 23 boost on top, which makes it also very good for jumping around. I mean, jump range is great because the mass is super low. We have a quite minimal cargo though that we can help by taking the Hope Tech here on the back, because we want you to be able to use this ship, right? And then allow you to put on the 100 cm ballast cargo hold or the shielded one, so you can actually smuggle contraband with your little illegal fighter. That brings us up to at least 540 cargo, which is okay for a little stroll throughout the galaxy. Now, as you notice, there is a few errors that we have to take care of. First and foremost, landing gear. Now, what we can do down here perfectly, we can flip to the midpoint, and then we can also add the pinpoint. Not really beefing up our plane, not really beefing up our X-Wing, and keeping the rather sleek look. Fore and midpoint. That's one error taken care of. Also, we do need a fuel tank, and that one fits perfectly back here, just between the cargos, out of eyesight, perfectly. So our 4 thrusters can actually blast out, which now has the problem that some things seem to be not connected despite being connected. And that is because not everything has ladders going through itself to actually walk up and down. So first, let's delete the talker we had here on top and actually use the Hope Tech companionway together with the R2-D2 docker on top. And now ship has weapons that need to be assigned to a group, which has a little problem because I have 4 of these 50 milliwatt lasers and I can't actually make 2 laser groups. So have to throw them out again and add a different laser, which instead of the IR pulse laser would be the IR laser. So, no, same looking, but not same being. Now if we go into the weapon tab, we can have the pulse laser and the laser on. 2 different weapon groups. Perfect, right? And now last but not least, the only thing we need is rockets, which could be perfectly put below the wing on the outside. With a very flat CE9 missile launcher, and we're gonna copy that and flip it all over, and we're gonna put that also on the other side. And then last but not least, we get the rockets that fly out, we get the lasers that fly out, everything. But we're missing a shield. The problem with the shield is on top here we can only put an ugly one, so we get this protector. I mean, this one is B tier, so we really don't want this ball here on top. We're going to put that on here, but we're going to fly to a different planet to actually replace this. Now, due to the landing gear here, we have a problem sleekening our sights a little bit, but for that, you could take the Damus wing. It just gives us like a little bit of a sleeker look on the side, so it doesn't look so cut off, you know? And now to the paint job. Like the whole thing. And let's make it completely white at first, with all the colors. There's obviously the red elements that would be here on the side. Now, the problem with these parts here is we can't make them red. I mean, I can make the upper part red and leave the lower part, which I would actually be okay with, but you notice it's the whole part that actually turns red. Cool thing though is we can make the outside of the wing the same red. So that's like a very nice thing about this. We're coloring it. And we also get the outside of the wing part that's a little bit having the red accents on it. We're going to take the upper side of this one and the upper side of this one to give it also that reddish touch. Then last but not least, we have the slight red elements on the engines. And here we can actually perfectly take just color number 3 and slap that on for the little ring around it. Well, you won't see it on the bottom one, but I know it's there, so I'm going for it. There's a little homage up here to R2-D2. We can make the whole thing blue. Our little robot friend. Well, let's save the thing, walk into it, show it in space, and replace that shield generator because it's ugly. Hello, little X-Wing. Good to see you there. Well, it's actually not little. It's kind of like the XL wing, but well, we'll let it pass. Not into the cockpit. We're going to board it. And here, the good thing is it's quite simple. You board it, you're straight up in the captain's quarters because, well, I mean, it's your X-Wing and maybe your co-pilot who's sitting right behind you because we actually have the slot for 2 people. Then you get your little crafting benches, which is actually really cool. So if you need to adapt something, you get here the spacesuit workbench, the industrial workbench, the weapon workbench. So you can work on that and you can sleep down there. And to get higher, you would actually just climb the ladder 1 more. And suddenly end up in the rather spacey cockpit. Now let's get that baby up and see also especially our 4 engines thrusted out. Exactly the way we wanted to. Come on, dwarf engines, do it. Yes. Perfection. Not everything is always possible, but you gotta keep the iconic touch to it, especially when it comes down to the 4 engines at the back and our little R2-D2 on top here, which makes me really happy. And as we're shooting, do you see where the lasers are coming out from the side? Perfection. That's how it should be. Exactly how our X-Wing fields, plus the rockets then. Could be right in the movies. Well, let me go to Volley 2, though, to find a different shield generator. On Neon, we're straight up heading to the ship services to talk with Mr. Ship Service Technician. I actually have a name. Now let's see if we can get a better shield generator. God damn it, they're all freaking ugly. So I guess we're going to have to keep our little bulb. We either could put here or on one of the sides. I know my Stargale has a different one, but for that I would need ship design rank 4 and even more different Stroud-Eklund parts. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you want to see next? Drop it in the comments below. Also, if you're extremely new to shipbuilding and want to learn all the ins and outs and how to build your first giga functional super ship, check this link. It has all the infos you need.